Who's a good boy? You are a good boy.
Yes, I am a good boy, but can you maybe give me back the squirrel from the bin?
When I was a waitress, I found it amusing to just stand at a table where people wanted to order, but I was just staring at them and said nothing till someone spoke.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? Today I'm going to show you the LTX2.3 GGUF workflow with customizable audio options where you can add your own audio here with this node, and you can also use the normal LTX audio. You just have to turn this one to 0 or 1. 1 is going to be the custom audio and 0 is going to be the LTX generated audio. But before we go into the whole workflow, I literally just want to say thank you for everybody who subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for everyone who is following, subscribing, commenting, and asking questions. Because if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. If you have any more questions, you can come to my Discord. As you can see on Discord, I already showed everyone what I was doing yesterday. This is like a whole thing that I was posting, like, hey, this is how much RAM it was using. This is the GGUF workflow on my old computer. I showed the spikes, what it does when it swaps between the models. I showed how fast was the iteration. Well, I don't really know if I can call this fast, but it's a 4060 Ti with 16 gigs of VRAM and 32 gigs of system RAM. So, and also the system RAM is DDR4. So I mean, I guess it's relatively fast for other systems, right? I don't know if there is a faster way. I guess you can do it faster if you actually do maybe Q3 distilled version, because in this one you can see that I'm using this on my 5090. So for this one I would use Q8. But on the 5090 I can actually use the normal dev, like the normal big file. You can use the checkpoint, or you can even use the diffusion model from like Kijai. And I am using the Kijai node loaders as well, but you don't have to. I'm just using it for the VAE, for both audio and video VAE. So yeah, there's like a whole thing that I was doing on Discord. So if you want to see those things, please join the Discord. And if you want to see more, and if you want to download the workflows, you can also do that on my Patreon, because I'm posting these on Patreon and I'm uploading the workflows on Patreon now. So if you don't like Discord for some reason, then you can follow me on Patreon. It's all free. Everything is free. You can just click join and then just ask questions, I guess. And now let's go through this workflow. So as you can see, there's like a bunch of nodes that I deactivated here. You don't have to deactivate it. I was just kind of trying to figure out an issue that I was having yesterday. And it turns out I just did the prompt wrong. That happens. So for example, you can see that I don't use this one right now, the prompt enhancer, because I don't know, I just kind of learned how to make a prompt for LTX, and it's really not a difficult thing to make a prompt for LTX. As you could see in the beginning of the video, it does switch between characters, it does the reaction, it does everything well. So from there, you just have to make sure that your workflow is actually well created and has everything in there, because that's why we all make these workflows. That's why we all change things or add things, or you know, like when you add like audio options, or when you add more loading options, because these nodes are an interesting story as well. So for example, I have here 2 GGUF loader nodes. Why? Because this one is something that I updated lately, and this one is something that I didn't. And one of them works only on my old computer. I think this one was the one that was working on my old computer, but both of them is working on my new computer because I have updated this thing. So if you don't update certain things within your custom node, it's just not gonna work. And I was just too lazy to update it, so I just loaded up this GGUF loader, and it just works as well. Like it's just as fine. You can use either of these. I'm going to leave both of them in the workflow if you want to use this for GGUF. you don't need to use the load diffusion model or the checkpoint loader, because neither of these is going to work on a very low VRAM system. And as I have said, I tried this on my old computer with the Q3 GGUF model, which is like 10 gigs. So it still requires a bit of VRAM, you know. But as you can see, my VRAM never really went over 14 gigs, maybe 15 when it was really spiking, but I had like 50 I had like 50 windows open in Chrome. So Chrome was using a lot of VRAM at the time as well. So that wasn't exactly just Comfyui. I wasn't really using my computer responsibly while I was converting. So maybe those times that you have seen on my Discord posts like these, this can be also even lower as well. Like, it really depends on what you are doing at the moment with your computer. And then going to these nodes, you can literally just use the old school normal VAE loader. I'm using the Kijai one because I downloaded a few things from Kijai and I wanted to use those, but these are perfectly fine to load up normal files as well, like whatever you download with the template. So when you're downloading the template, like let's say for example you click on this, it's gonna tell you that hey, you need to download these. I don't need to download them, it's just not in the folder where it's looking for it, but it does give you options to download these files. So you can download any of these files. For example, the text encoder, I'm using this text encoder, I'm not using anything else. And I'm using this LoRa, not using anything else. And I'm using this checkpoint as well. So, but this is the big checkpoint. Do you see, like, it's like 42 gigs, 43 gigs actually. So you don't have to do that. You can just use the Q8 or Q4 or Q3, don't use a Q2. Q2 is bad, but Q3 is good. And if you are really tight on VRAM, as I have said, you can use the Q3 distilled version, but I think that will degrade with the quality. However, I really like to use this LoRa, the distilled LoRa, but with the new model on LTX, you can't really add too much of the distilled LoRa to it. So what I did is that I put the distilled LoRa into the first sampling and I put it on a really low amount because it doesn't need that much, but it does well if you use it on like 0.2. And then on the second sampling, I put the LoRa in as well and it's on 0.45. I don't go higher than that because what I noticed is that it kind of messes with the quality above 0.45. I think I could even go lower than 0.45, but 0.45 seems to be a really good spot for this whole thing. I was trying out different samplers, but Euler Ancestral is the fastest so far that I have found. But if someone finds a faster one, please let me know, because I like to work faster as well. What I do with the prompt, you can use this, you can just use your own prompting if you trust yourself and if you know how to prompt, or you just literally, which I'm gonna do now because I'm gonna save the workflow like that. You can just use the prompt enhancer, but keep in mind that the prompt enhancer, if you have like a lower VRAM system, maybe this is going to also use a little bit much VRAM as well, which is probably not going to be the most optimal for you. So you might not want to use this. And if you don't want to use this, that's fine. You just disconnect this thing there and then you just skip these, or you can even remove these if you're never going to use them. So this is not something that you definitely have to use. This is just an enhancer. It's nothing super important, right? And then with the audio, this is where you would load in the audio that you need. The meltband former, when you're making music videos, this is literally what it was made for. It filters out the voice from all the music and stuff. So when you put it through the whole system, First of all, you have to choose one if you want to use your custom audio. And then when you put it through the whole system, it goes through the sampling, and the end result is going to be with this audio. But that will be the filtered audio. If you feel lazy and if you are making music videos, you can literally pull this one from here to here. Because that way it will put the original audio that's coming out from this into the video here. So you don't have to like resync the audio each time when you put in one part of the clip into your video editing software. And it's going to have the perfect audio with perfect lip syncing. But if you feel like that maybe later you're gonna edit it or whatever, so you're fine with the audio, just leave this here. Because let's say next time you want to use the OG audio that LTX does, and then you're like, why do I have this? Why is this not working? And it's just not gonna work because you forgot that you have pulled the OG audio here into the end result. But if you wanna do, as I said, if you wanna do perfect audio, because the original audio is the best always, and if you're using your own custom audio, just put this here, and then just have it there, and you're gonna have the cleanest audio with the best lip sync. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else that's like new or super important. Like I'm using, oh yeah, maybe like how long is the video and stuff like that. So right now I have it on 7 seconds, but obviously the best is always like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Those seem to be synced really well with the model as well, because I think they are training them on 5 second long videos and stuff like that. So it will generate the best with 5 second length each time, like 5, 10, 15, 20. And I am using full HD. But when you load up the basic workflow, when you load up this, you can see that it's on 720p, which is like, I mean, it's fine, but I have noticed that it's always going to be the best quality on 1080p. And here is something that they actually did this time, which I really like. This time, you can actually make full HD vertical videos as well.
This place may look perfect, but their mayor is a reindeer.
So yeah, you can do that now, and it's actually really, really refreshing, because now when you're making a full HD video, it's not gonna have all those discolorizations and all those weird things, and it's going to look well. And there's not gonna be any weird things in the corners or just terrible results. It's going to be perfect results, and you can actually do shorts and all kinds of things now with LTX. So yeah, this is it, and enjoy the workflow. I guess you're gonna know what to do because we're all kind of in this for a while now. And if you're new, let me know, and let me know if there's a question. By the way, if you just want to test things and you don't want to wait through the whole process, I put this note here to turn off the whole upscale part, and then you can just use this sampler to check what does the first sampling look like. Just a thought. I don't know. It's your decision. All right. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and join the Patreon or Discord or both. And I don't know. Give me a comment. Drop a like. Bye, guys. See you next time.